Okay, y'all. So, what's up? Welcome to my channel. Um, Today we're gonna be talking about all the trades that's been floating around in the WNBA. Things have gotten spicy, crazy. When I say crazy, I mean the WNBA is not going to look how it looked last year. Um, Last year we had the Aces dominating, the Lynx, the Connecticut Sun. We had the Fever dominating towards the end of the season. We had the Liberty dominating. Um, just crazy. And everybody kind of had their players um, designated with a specific team. However, this year, 2025, the WNBA season is going to look a whole lot different. So we're just going to be talking about the different trades that's been going around lately, the past few days, the players signing to different teams, and then we're also going to talk about the unrestricted free agents that's left and that haven't signed yet. Okay, so we're going to start off, and I got my iPad because if you're a girl, you know everything going to iPad. So we're going to start off with the three-way trade that happened between Vegas, the Las Vegas Aces, the Seattle Storm, and LA. So the Las Vegas traded Kelsey Plum to the Los Angeles Sparks. And the Los Angeles Sparks, So Kelsey Plum was traded to LA. And in return, Vegas got Jewel Lloyd. Everybody knows Jewel Lloyd. She was number one pick, 2015. And season 2023, the 2023 season, she led the whole league in scoring. So now she's going to the Aces. And the Aces also received the number 13 pick. Then you got the Los Angeles Sparks. They received Kelsey Plum. They received the number 9 pick in the 2025 WNBA draft. And then for 2026 WNBA draft, they get a second round pick, which they received from Seattle. And then Seattle, they received Lee Yuru. They also received the number 2 pick in the 2025 draft, which they got from LA. And then they got a first round pick in the 2026 WNBA draft from Las Vegas. Okay, so how I feel about this is we all knew that Kelsey was going to leave. The core four that was in Vegas wasn't really coring no more. They needed something to happen. They needed a trade. They needed something. I honestly thought that Kelsey was gonna go to the Valkyries, but having her in LA, I'm not mad at that at all. Like, I'm not mad at it. I feel like it was a good trade for Vegas because they got Jewel Lloyd, and I feel like Jewel Lloyd and Kelsey Plum, they kind of the same in one. Like, they both can go off, but they also can have like an off night. And the Aces, they didn't have a pick in the 2025 WNBA draft, so they had to trade. They had to do something. And in Seattle, Jewel Lloyd wasn't really happy. I don't know if y'all seen all the controversy that was floating around the league, where Jewel Lloyd got into it with her teammates, Skylar Diggins, and some investigation going around with the coach. Not really sure if y'all seen that, but Jewel Lloyd went out. So I feel like this is a perfect opportunity for Jewel Lloyd. I definitely feel like it's going to help the Aces because Jewel can play a little bit more defense than Kelsey Plum. Kelsey Plum can't play defense. And as far as LA, I feel like it's going to help them having Kelsey. It's going to help them. Kelsey can run point. I think that'll be good for them. And I already felt like LA was dominant last year. They just didn't have enough to get over that hump. If you look at all the games that LA lost last year, they lost by, majority of them was by a couple of points. They beat the Aces a couple times. So they're good. Like with Rakia, they have Dearica Hamby. They had Lee. Now they just traded Lee to Seattle. I felt like Lee was a good post present for LA when De'Erica got in foul trouble. And then, Cameron Brink is coming back. I feel like Kelsey Plum will fit in good with the culture of LA. So I really love that for her. Seattle, I feel like they won as well because they're getting the number 2 pick in the WNBA draft. So that'll be good. And I'm not really sure what Seattle is looking for. I feel like they have good dominant post presence. And I feel like they had some pretty good guards. So they did let Jewel go. But yeah, I don't know. I like this trade. I liked it a lot. So I'm really happy about it. I'm excited to see what Jewel is going to do in Vegas. I'm excited for Jewel to gain her spark back because for a minute, Jewel was in a scoring slump. She wasn't really scoring. Her minutes went down, but it all makes sense. She wasn't happy there. And when the season ended, everything came out. So I'm excited about that. All right. So now we're going to move on to segment 2. When I tell y'all this video is going to get crazy, so many people moving around the WNBA, but I'm here for it. Okay, y'all, so on to segment 2. Now, this trade was a two-way trade, and this is the one that I probably was the most not happy about. Only because the Connecticut Sun is breaking up. Alyssa Thomas and Ty Harris was traded to the Phoenix Mercury. And it's kind of crazy because Alyssa Thomas and Ty Harris started for Connecticut. Like, they was a part of the starting 5, really, until Ty Harris got hurt. So they was traded to the Phoenix Mercury. And then in return, the Connecticut Sun received Natasha Cloud, Rebecca Allen, and the number 12 pick in the 2025 WNBA draft. Yeah, so I don't know. We're gonna talk about Alyssa Thomas and Ty Harris trade a little more in the video because I don't want to ruin what I'm gonna talk about in the next segment as far as trades. But I feel like honestly, whoever got Alyssa Thomas on their team is winning because Alyssa Thomas, she play defense, she can run the point, she basically can play any position that you need her to play. She handles the ball really well. She barely turned the ball over. She's just a very good all-around player. She's not really a scoring threat. Well, she wasn't at the beginning of the season last year, but then she got in her playoff bag and she started scoring. But I like the way Alyssa Thomas played because she feels like she don't really need to score as much because she likes to run the floor and control the pace of the game, and she have all these scores around her. However, she knows how to score when she needs to. So I like that about Alyssa Thomas. So I feel like the Phoenix Mercury won this trade. And of course, Ty Harris, an exceptional 3-point shooter. She can get to the rim. All of that. Ty Harris, her defense can be a little better, but nothing really to complain about. So I really like that. And Natasha Cloud going to the Connecticut Sun, I really don't have no comments on that right now. I don't feel like Natasha Cloud showed up a lot during the season. She did show up in big moments, but she was never consistent. But I feel like a new start would be good for her. So yeah, I'm excited. So let's talk about segment 3. Okay, y'all, so now we're on to segment 3. This was also a 3-way trade. Now this trade did not make much sense to me. This trade was between the Phoenix Mercury, the Dallas Wings, and the Indiana Fever. So in the trade, the Phoenix Mercury received Satu Sabli, Kalani Brown, and Savigi Uzan. They all left Dallas, and they're going to the Mercury. Now remember, in the last segment, I said Alyssa Thomas is now on the Mercury. So right now for the Mercury, you have Khalil Copper, you have Alyssa Thomas, you have Satu Sabli, you have Kalani Brown, and Savigi Uzan, and you still have Diana Taurasi. You no longer have Natasha Cloud. Okay, so the Dallas Wing receive Ty Harris from Phoenix. Remember, in the last segment, Ty Harris was just traded to Phoenix from Connecticut Sun. She was over there with Alyssa Thomas. Okay, so Dallas Wings received Ty Harris, Nalyssa Smith from the Indiana Fever. They also have the rights to Micaiah Herbert. And then they get the number 8 pick in the 2025 WNBA draft from Indiana. I'm not mad at that. I'm glad that Nalyssa Smith left Indiana. She wasn't happy there. But I felt like the Indiana is losing by trading Nalyssa Smith, and I'm gonna tell you why in a second. All right, so in return, the Indiana Fever receives Sophie Cunningham from Phoenix, and they get the number 19 pick in the 2025 WNBA draft. I feel like the Fever lost his trade because you trade. It's almost like you're trading Nalyssa Smith for Sophie Cunningham. Now, granted, Sophie Cunningham, she can hit the 3 ball, but she only averages around 8.4 points per game. She's not really a threat on the defensive end, but she can defend. But it's like you pass up Nalyssa Smith for Sophie Cunningham. That do not make sense to me. It don't make sense to me at all. I don't get it. But it worked out for Nalyssa Smith. She wasn't happy in Indiana. She wanted to be traded at the end of last season, but I think when the coach left, she was happy and she was excited about going back to the Fever. But she gets a new start in Dallas. Potentially, she gets a starting role. So yeah, but the Indiana and also Sophie Cunningham, she wanted to be in Indiana, so it kind of worked out. Nalyssa didn't want to be in Indiana. Sophie wanted to be in Indiana. If y'all remember the All-Star game, it was an interaction floating around social media when Caitlin Clark was telling Sophie, what she was asking her, did she want to come to the Indiana? So I think that worked out. And Satu going to Phoenix, I think that'll be a fresh start for her. I'm not mad at that. And Kalani Brown, she's going to Phoenix. I don't know what that means for Dallas post-present. Yeah, you have Nalyssa Smith, and she can pretty good offensive player, but she's not able to defend as much as she's capable of because she's short. So you get rid of Kalani Brown. Who is Dallas going to have in the post-presence? Now, mind you, Dallas Wing get the number 1 overall pick in the 2025 WNBA draft. So more than likely, they're going to Paige is going to go to Dallas Wing. So that helps. And then you also got Enrique. She's still in Dallas. But all those are guards. Like, what are you going to do about the post play? So mind you, it gets better. Hold on. That was segment 3. Keep up. That's segment 3. Okay, y'all. We're on segment 4. This where it gets spicy. It's a 2-way trade between Dallas Wings and Connecticut Sun. Remember, Connecticut already lost Alyssa Thomas and Ty Harris, 2 of their starters. Dallas Wings already lost Satu and Kalani Brown and 1 more person. Okay, so in the trade, Dallas Wings receive. We gotta get a drum roll. Can I get a drum roll? Dallas Wings receive Dijonai Carrington from the Connecticut Sun. Dallas Wings received Dijonai Carrington from the Connecticut Sun. Dijonai Carrington, she started for the Connecticut Sun. She got the most improved player last year. Exceptional defensive player. Dijonai offense can be a little slow, but she's gonna score between 8 and 16 points a game. Like it's never really like all consistent, but she get a lot of fast break points because she's a good defensive player. You steal the ball, going to the other side, layup. Okay, so now you have Connecticut Sun have lost out of the starting lineup. You have Alyssa Thomas, Ty Harris, and Dijonai Carrington. So Dallas Wings received Dijonai Carrington from Connecticut Sun, and they also received the number 12 pick in the 2025 WNBA draft. Mind you, they already got the number 1 pick. Okay. Connecticut Sun receives J.C. Sheldon from Dallas Wings and the number 8 pick. So basically, Dallas Wings passed up the number 8 pick and J.C. Sheldon for Dijonai Carrington, and I'm not mad at it. And if y'all keep up with the WNBA, y'all know that Nalyssa Smith and Dijonai Carrington date, like their thing. Indiana fan base could not stand Dijonai Carrington because of how she played defense with Caitlin Clark. And it makes sense. They couldn't stand Dijonai Carrington, so they hated Nalyssa Smith, which is part of the reason why she wanted out. So yeah, that's tricky. That's tricky. But I'm really excited for Dijonai because Alyssa Thomas left. Wait, I'm gonna tell y'all why. I'm excited in a minute. Cause it's all gonna make sense. All right, y'all. So we're back. Now we're on to segment 5. Segment 5, we're gonna talk about all the free agent signings, meaning players that wasn't legally bonded to another team, legally bonded to another contract. They didn't need a trade. They basically, if the numbers was right, they basically get to choose where they want to go. We're going to start off with Brittany Griner. Brittany Griner leaves Phoenix to go to Atlanta Dream. I'm not mad at that, but that make you think about all the other trades that just happened. You just had Alyssa Thomas go over to Phoenix. You just had Satu go over to Phoenix. You just had Kalani Brown go over to Phoenix. So now they got to rebuild. The Phoenix got to rebuild. Brittany Griner leaving. Brittany Griner, she spent the last 11 years in Phoenix. Now she's going to Atlanta Dream. But that makes me wonder, is Diana Taurasi leaving? Is Diana Taurasi leaving? Because they done spent the last 11 seasons together. Why else would Brittany Griner want to leave the Phoenix? If Diana Taurasi was staying, don't you think Brittany Griner would stay and spend maybe Diana Taurasi last 1 or 2 years there with her? That's what I was thinking. I don't know. We haven't heard no drama, no beef, or nothing going down in Phoenix with Brittany Griner. They loved her there. They had her back when she, got arrested and all the other stuff happened. So that was strange. But I'm not mad at it because I feel like Tina Charles in Atlanta Dream, she needed some help in the post. I felt like Atlanta Dream could have been a lot better if Tina Charles had a lot of help. Tina Charles had to play a lot of minutes, and physically, she wasn't meant for it. Like she dominated when she was in the game, but off the time she got tired, she needs some help. So I feel like Brittany Griner is a great addition to the Atlanta Dream. Not mad at it. Okay, now we have Brionna Jones. Brionna Jones, starting 5 from the Connecticut Sun. She just signed with the Atlanta Dream. And it's crazy because go back to Connecticut Sun starting roster from last year. You got Ty Harris, Dijonai Carrington, DeWanna Bonner, Alyssa Thomas, and you got Brionna Jones. 4 of those are gone. 4 of the starting 5 gone. Brionna Jones, I feel like she's a good addition to she's a great addition to Atlanta Dream as well. However, if Tina Charles is staying in Atlanta, I do not think that Brionna Jones is going to start. But I don't think that matters when she get the playing time. Brionna Jones is an excellent post player. She did her thing last year. She did get hurt towards the end of the season last year, so she was able to perform. She had a shoulder injury. She was able to perform as much as she usually would. But she's going to the Atlanta Dream. I'm from Georgia, so I'm excited about everybody going to Atlanta. That's exciting. But what does this mean for Connecticut? I don't know. Okay, so then you have Natasha Howard. Natasha Howard from Dallas. She's going to Indiana. She got drafted to the Fever originally. She spent the last couple years in Dallas. Now she's going back to Indiana, which makes sense because they got rid of Nalyssa Smith. Now Natasha Howard is in Indiana. So I think that's good. Natasha Howard's great on offense. Could be better defensively, but I think that's gonna give the Fever a really strong starting five. Not that Nalyssa Smith wasn't great; she was just a little on the smaller side. And I would like to see Nalyssa expand and play more of the three position, like work on her 3-point shot, and only because she's so small. And the post play in the league now is full of big players, so I want to see her expand her game a little. Okay, so you got Natasha Howard leave Dallas, go to Indiana Fever. Okay, you got Nneka Ogwumike. She re-signs with the Seattle Storm. I'm not surprised by that. She seemed happy there. She dominated there. You know, she had a good relationship with her coaches and, you know, her teammates. So I'm not mad at that, and I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by that. Okay, Odyssey Sims signs a 1-year deal with Los Angeles. If y'all don't remember, Odyssey Sims was floating around the league last year, and she was continuously signed to a hardship contract in LA. Now they signed her for a 1-year deal. I wonder okay, so Kelsey is going to LA. I wonder what does this mean for Odyssey Sims playing time? If they're having Kelsey run point, what does that mean for Odyssey Sims? Although I feel like she's a great backup player. She played defense way better than Kelsey, but she's not starting over Kelsey. So we'll see. Okay, then you have Courtney Vandersloot from the New York Liberty returns back to Chicago. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at it because I feel like the Chicago Sky needs a veteran. Angel and Camilla, they need a vet on the team to help them navigate through the WNBA. They need a consistent ball handler. They need somebody that can be consistent at scoring. So I'm not mad at it, but I really want Chicago to do something else. I want Chicago Sky to do something else, but I'm not mad at that. Then you have Kessel Mitchell re-signs with the Indiana Fever. I love that for Kelsey. She got a lot of praise. She got a lot of attention last year, and I love that for her. So I'm not surprised by that, and I'm not mad at it. I love that for Kelsey. So yeah, that was segment 5. Okay, y'all, now we're moving on to segment 6. Segment 6 is basically the remaining free agents in the league. And some are unrestricted free agents, some are restricted free agents. But I'm trying to see where they're going. Are they going to stay on their current team? Are they going to leave? First, we have DeWanna Bonner. She's from the Connecticut Sun. She's the last person from the starting 5 of the Connecticut Sun from last year. Personally, I think she's going to leave. I think she's going to go to Phoenix with Alyssa Thomas. And it makes sense because, you know, they're engaged. They have kids. So why wouldn't you go? And I feel like Alyssa Thomas had the ultimate say-so on where she was going because she is the most effective player, and anybody would want Alyssa Thomas on their team, but it was kind of one of those things where, can you get me? Like, can you get DeWanna? And I feel like they definitely can afford her because, I mean, they only have Kalia, Copper, Satu, and Alyssa Thomas, who they're really paying for real, like the big dollars. So they could afford to bring DeWanna Bonner in. I don't think she's gonna stay in Connecticut only because everybody left. Like, everybody left. It's just her. So, and I would like to see her go somewhere else. I love DeWanna Bonner. She's a great player, and I'm just curious to know where she's gonna go. Then you have Diana Taurasi. I'm 100% sure that Diana Taurasi is not going to another team. Either she's gonna retire or she's gonna stay in Phoenix another year, because that's where she spent her whole career. I personally, I think she's retiring because Brittany Griner left, honestly. And then they had the whole ceremony for her at the end of the season. So, and Diana Taurasi get a little old. It's time for her to go on and let somebody else come in. That's how I feel. I mean, I don't feel like Diana Taurasi is a threat anymore on the floor compared to all the new players that you have. No disrespect to Diana Taurasi. She's always done her thing, but because she's getting older, she's becoming slower. Yeah, she can still shoot your lights out, but yeah, I think she's gonna retire. Then you have Tina Charles from Atlanta Dream. The question is she leaving? Originally, I thought she was going to leave because she didn't have no help in Atlanta. It was just her in the post. But now that she has help, now that she has Brianna Jones and Brittany Griner, you know, she had the option to stay. So is she? I don't know. Then we have Kennedy Carter. Kennedy Carter is one of the best two-way players in the league right now. However, Kennedy Carter has a lot of locker room issues. Kennedy Carter, she's not easy to coach, I would say. She was a free agent. She's currently playing overseas. I just found out that Chicago is not re-signing her. They're not courting her. They're not holding on to her to make a trade. I felt like that would have been smart, holding on to Kennedy in order to trade her for somebody else so that they can get someone else. But they didn't do that. They just said, nope, we're not signing. Bye, go do your thing. So I'm curious to know where Kennedy would land. I have no idea where I can see Kennedy. Because, you know, everybody kind of already got like their dominant guard, saying Kennedy is a very dominant guard. I mean, she could go to the Mystics. I mean, the Mystics not making no noise. They're not trading nobody right now. So let's see where Kennedy goes. I would love to see Kennedy on a championship team. I feel like she brings the energy. She does have things she needs to work on, but I'm not mad at it. Then you have Tiffany Hayes. If you know, Tiffany Hayes retired a couple years ago. Then the Las Vegas Aces brought her on last year. She was six man of the year. She's a threat on the defensive end and offensive end. I love the energy that Tips plays with. So it's like, where's she gonna go? If she don't re-sign with the Aces, I'm going to be mad. I love Tip down, and I love the Aces. So I need her to run it back another year or two. But I'm sure she's gonna want more money. She's gonna want more money this year, and as she should. She did so well last year, but can Vegas afford to pay her? That's the question. And then you have Kia Nurse from LA. She's a free agent. And you have a couple more people that's a free agent. So we're still trying to figure out, where are these people going to go? Where are they going to go? Okay, so that pretty much wraps up all 6 segments. Everything dealing with the trades, the free agencies, all that type of stuff. And it's really been shocking. I think the biggest shock for me was Dijonai, Carrington, and Nalyssa Smith both going to Dallas. They were there with Enrique. I'm not mad at it. I love that for them. But honestly, Chicago ain't making no noise. The Aces not making no noise. The Mystics not making no noise. New York not making no noise. And you have one more team who haven't really made any trades or haven't done anything. You have the Minnesota Lynx. They haven't really made any more trades, but I feel like they have a pretty solid team. So if everybody from last year re-signs with them, I feel like they still have a pretty solid team. Maybe they can bring in one more big to help Kaya out. They do have one more person, but yeah, I don't know. It's getting spicy in the WNBA. I'm so excited for this season. But it's crazy because now it's like everybody's favorite teams is changing up. Like I'm an Aces fan. Love Aces now. My number one team, that's not changing. If Asia leave, then it might change a little. I'm not gonna lie. But I loved Kelsey Plum. So now I'm going to be cheering for LA, which is fine because I liked Rakia last year. And you got Cameron Brink coming back. So I'll be cheering for them as well. But Connecticut Sun, that was my second favorite team. And everybody leaving. So who am I going to be cheering for? So honestly, I'm going to be watching all teams. And I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up now. I feel like I've been talking for a minute. But I do want to say thank y'all to everybody who have rocked with me through this video. I plan to bring more content. I was bringing a little basketball content last year, but I wasn't consistent enough. And it's just been on my mind heavy to restart. So we're here. And let me know what type of videos y'all want to see. But I think I'm going to do, my next video may be like all the coaches changes around the league because that was crazy. That was crazy. That was crazy. So many coaches got fired or let go or mutually departed ways. So I may make a video on that, but let me know what type of WNBA content y'all want to see. Not only WNBA, college hoops too, because I watch all games that involve females, honestly. I watch NBA too, but this channel is mostly going to be just female hoops. So let me know what y'all want to see. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see y'all next week for a new video.